So this is now the final video on building the Mark X medical tricorder. I'm going to go through the last steps so that you can then turn those bodies and those pieces into that. Greetings, Dave here, DCPFX. I want to show off the last few steps that you need to go through, or that I went through at least, in order to make the Mark X medical tricorder. So I spent a little bit of time with the hot glue gun, and well, I've got that now. Now I still need to solder other connections, and I want to do a few more things to get this working a little bit better. I'm going to put some small pieces of foam in between these lights here. There's a little bit of bleed on it. So I just want to just cut that out. And you can see that a little bit of bleed. I want to cut that out between them. But yeah, it's coming along really well. So what's next is to solder some connections and also to get the ratchet working and then get everything all closed up. And there's something going on here with the, oh, it came loose. That's why the door is not working. So there's still a few things to work on. Oh, and there goes the power to this one as well. When you just twist them on, you're going to get that. But it's coming along really nicely. What do you think? Okay, so now that I've got a little more work done, I have this. All that's left to do now is to add these pieces into here and these pieces onto the body. And what I have added too is I've added just a little bit of my old trick, a little bit of diffuser, because this light is just a bright light and it would actually show through a little ID there. So by adding just that little diffuser there, unfortunately these hinges are not the best. I don't like these. I definitely like the Delta Vega props better, just the hinges a little bit better. But yeah, and it's coming along really nicely. Now let's talk a little more about getting this inside here before we get to adding all the stickers. So here it is with the back on. So there's the back there, and that is a little holder for the scanner, which still need to build that. There's the board by GM Props or Prop BFX. So I need to build that. I've done a couple of them. No need to go through that right now. And that's just held in with some screws. This one, rather than magnetic, screws in. So this is sort of a catch breakfast worth of cabling. But I'll give you a few little tips in order to get this together. Now this is pretty simple. These are just glued in. This one, the main board at the top here, basically just sits in. It's wedged up against here. When you're installing this board, the main board here, now this is what I ran up against. This is maybe something you ran up against as well. But in order to do it, what I like about the Delta Vega props is you've got the pieces come through here. So it lines up really easy. With this board here, it just sort of sits in there. So what I had to do was I had to put this on here to make it line up just right. As you see, it does. And one thing I wanted to do too, let me just adjust this light a little bit so you get this a little bit out of the way here, if I can. Well, I'll just adjust the prop instead. One thing I did notice too, that, let's get this right in the spot here. Get that just right. So those there, that goes right there. That lines up perfectly. See that there? But when the board was in the way it was, you would get huge bleed through on this. So the green was, so what I did was I took a little bit of craft foam, and it's gonna get a little closer. I cut it and just the right height and put it in between. So that way when you do that, when that goes on, you don't have the bleed through on it. So that is, I can see there, that is correct. Green, green, red, green, green, red. It's going through just little tips and tricks in order to get that working. One thing also I'm going to do, which I will do that when I'll cut away and we'll do the rest, is I'm going to take these pieces, right, this in place here. These particular places, these pieces go on, oh geez, these are really small pieces, go on there, and that goes on there. So rather than taking these, oh, and this piece goes on the bottom here. But rather than sticking this onto the front and then gluing it on and having to hold them forever while the glue sets, this gives you cyanoacrylate on there, or super glue for the grade unwashed. I'm going to glue these onto this here, and then I'm going to put it on to the front. Let me close this. Put it on the front there so that I don't have to worry about the whole, oh no, it slid, the glue slipped, all these things. Let me just show you too since I'm doing that. Get those out there. This is how this is going to look as well. So Stapleton has done some nice work on getting this together. Get it out of the glare here. And so there's your pieces there. And then these go on top, obviously. Put that on just like that. That's hard to do with this thing, getting bright light to light this thing, but it looks like very washed. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to add these pieces on, and we'll come back in a minute and we will show off how this looks with everything on. So here we are, finished. Now I am missing this one sticker. I did say that before. I'm missing that one. I don't know what's going on. Whether it was ever in the package, I don't know. But there it is in all its glory. I like it. It's nice. Now I still need to finish up obviously on the, I do have several of them I can just put in, but there you go. So that is the build of the Mark X medical tricorder. So that's the final steps that I went through in order to make this. This was a fun prop to put together. Now, you might have known, or if you looked at these things, I like making tricorders. Now this is the Delta Vega Props Science, and there's the medical. So this is the Mark 7, this is the Mark 10, so you know, it gets smaller as time goes on. I'll close that down, I'll close both of them down. So a few quick things to say about the two of them. First of all, it's a great kit. The boards from PropEFX, Jerry Ross, who's been making these things for, well, it seems like forever. Great boards, and the instructions are good. And then the body is from Stapleton Productions. So Myron has done a good job of making that. You get the whole kit and caboodle there with everything, including the hand scanners. Well, I didn't show off the hand scanner because I've built many of them, and I've done other videos on the hand scanners. It's quite simple. Basically, glue the clear piece, put the metal piece on top, insert the body, and do this, and install batteries. It's easy. It's easy. The instructions are very, very simple to follow, so I don't need to go through this. There's not really any painting or anything involved. Just put it together and go. So some final thoughts on them. One thing I want to say now is I'm going to talk to my friends at Delta Vega Props about making our own Mark X body, because I had some real headaches with the Stapleton body, just in fit and finish. I think on the way that Dino has designed the hinge inserts, a much better system. This one works fine. I just didn't like it. It was just a whole lot of, let's throw a whole whack of glue at it, hope it holds. Whereas Dino's is, glue's great, but you don't even need it because there's a spot he put in for the hinges and it's done much more solid. Also, the hinges that came with the kit were a little bit problematic for getting light through the body into the door. I'm going to see if I can maybe crunch down on the hinges a little bit so they're not as loose, so they have better connection the whole way through. But it's a good kit if you are making one yourself. Hopefully this is some help for you to pull it all together. It's not hard work. But as I said in the video, the build video show, use the graphics to your advantage to line everything up, because you don't have a lot of leeway on that. In fact, when I was doing the 4 lights down the left side, I thought that they were really out of alignment until I actually saw the graphic on top. Okay, well that lights up correctly, that's fine. They do seem a little bit out of whack in regards to the body versus the way that the board's together. But in the end, was it a fun build? Yes, it's a lot of fun build. And I've said this in previous videos, the reason I'm doing this, I bought this 8 years ago, maybe more. I bought the boards from Jerry, one of the first Toronto prop parties, and I got a body from Myron a little after that. But the problem was, first of all, my build game wasn't quite what it is now. and my electronics game wasn't what it is now. And it came to this. I was talking with my kids as I was, I've been done some traveling with them recently, and I said, the whole thing is when I built the Delta Vega props, I know I'm not going to screw up the electronics because Jerry does a great job. Electronics are perfect. But if I screw up the body, I'll print another. It was easy. Whereas with this, you spend your money to get the body from Myra and something goes wrong. Ah, crap, I got another body. And I'm out extra dollars again. This, like, if I screw up the body, print another, man. It's just my time, it's my printers. It doesn't really matter. Get her done. So I think in that respect, having that ability to build it on my own time, using my own stuff. Oh, crap, I screwed up, make another. It made me more confident to build this one. But if this is your first build, the medical tricorder, your first build, and you haven't really done this before, it's not hard. It's just pay attention to what you're doing and you'll get it done. And learn to solder. There's so many times I see things and they're cold solders and cold joints, and look that up. But do it correctly so it's done correctly, and that way you've got a good solid hold when your parts are coming together and you're good. This is a rock solid thing now. All I need to do is pat it out a little bit and it'll be good to go. I'm noticing too that the sound's a little bit off. I got to come up with a way to make it a little bit louder. The science tricorder is stupid loud and the medical one's much more quiet. So, but potato, potato. So that is build your own Mark X tutorial. Hopefully it helps if you're watching this and you're having, you're saying, oh, I didn't think about it. Hopefully this helps you. And my experience of building this I think this is my 4th tricorder. So hopefully it's made it easier for me to figure out how to do this. And it was a fun project to put together. So that's my video for today. Hope everyone's had a great day. We'll talk to you all